Super Dragon Ball Heroes Promotional Anime Episode 9. This was my favorite episode of Super Dragon Ball Heroes so far. And that's not saying much. That is not saying much because the previous 8 episodes have been, well, not very good. But they've had some fun moments, but overall it's been a big disappointment. Not very entertaining, but this episode I think was the best one that I've seen so far. Mostly because of how interesting it was and how it didn't really waste any time. And of course, when you have a 9-minute episode, it's going to be tough to actually, pad it out. You know what I mean? They have to get through this stuff quickly. But I think they used their time effectively here. I think some of the plot lines could have been drawn out more, but I think it worked. So the episode begins, and by the way, a couple days ago I did a spoiler video for this episode, and pretty much everything I said happened. And no, that was not a lucky guess. I knew what was going to happen, or at least some of it. Now, some things I did not know, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. So the episode starts out with like the skies being dark and purple. Really reminded me of the end of the Trunks arc when Zamasu fused with the universe. And you saw his face in the sky. They didn't do that here, but it had that kind of really gloomy, apocalyptic end of the world stuff. So right from the start, what I said in the spoiler video came true. Oren did indeed get possessed. I'm sorry, Vegeta got possessed by Oren, the Sulfurian, and he got this new transformation, and it looks like baby Vegeta. Not exactly, but it's of course the same, the same idea here. It's the Sulfurian Tuffle possession, so to speak, except that this version, Oren didn't have to go through Vegeta's bloodstream. He didn't have to find a cut on Vegeta's body to go inside of it. He just basically used an ability to just possess him, and that was that. So again, Oren-Vegeta is what I'm going to call him for this review. I don't know if that's the actual name of the character, the official name, but I'll call him that just for simplicity's sake, because of course, Baby Vegeta or Vegeta Baby is what he was called in the Japanese version or in the Dragon Ball GT. So very creepy looking here. This pale white look, Vegeta looked very, very creepy. And then Trunks is witnessing this happening to his father, and he's just totally shocked. He's just completely in shock. And Trunks tries to fight, but he gets knocked away into the water. Now, the next part of this episode is a fight that I think a lot of people were looking forward to. But, of course, because of the time constraints, it didn't get to really go anywhere because none of the fights in Dragon Ball Heroes really go anywhere. And that's the problem, is if you're looking for great, classic Dragon Ball fights, you're just not going to get it with Heroes. It's just not going to happen. They're very rushed. But we did see Jiren and CUMBER fight. CUMBER cannot connect on Jiren. Jiren's way too fast, and he hits him with some big shots. Toppo is slowly getting up as the fight is happening. So Toppo wasn't just totally knocked out. He was just knocked down. And CUMBER then transforms and attacks, but then Hearts shows up, and he uses his gravity manipulation technique on Jiren to kind of hold him down. So Hearts' ability to control gravity is really, really powerful in the Dragon Ball Heroes universe, enough that he could hold down Jiren. And let's not forget, if this Jiren is as strong as the one in Super, which we can assume that he is, maybe even more powerful, this guy Jiren can break through the limits of time. Don't forget he was able to break Hit's time cage. So Hearts' gravity ability can negate even that. So that's very impressive. So Vegeta Oren shows up and he dukes it out with Jiren. Again, the colors look really, really nice. I will say that even though the animation in Heroes is still, compared to Broly and some of the better Super episodes, it's just not on the same level at all. But to me, this was the best animated episode of Heroes so far. There was some great art, some great shots. It was my favorite episode so far. And again, the bar is set very low. When I say it's my favorite episode of Heroes, it's like being the nicest guy in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a huge compliment, but it is entertaining. I was entertained watching this, and that to me is the most important thing. In other episodes, I wasn't. With this one, I was. So the Sulfurians and Zamasu confront Jiren, and we have Jiren versus Merge Zamasu, a fight that I never thought we'd see. I never thought we'd see that fight. Obviously, because Zamasu was the top heel, to use a wrestling term, of the arc before Jiren was the top heel, even though Jiren's not really a heel necessarily. So we get to see them fight, the big baddies, the big final bosses. Again, Jiren's not really a bad guy, but, the big Goku antagonists from the last 2 arcs of Super. And neither guy can connect with each other. They can't connect. Trunks comes up from behind, tries to slice Zamasu again, just like he did before, but he gets knocked away by Oren-Vegeta. And then this big light shines like a godly light. It reminded me of, it really was this. Like when Whis comes in from space, or when the Grand Priest, because it was the Grand Priest, like the big godly light with the epic music, really enjoyed this scene. You know, it's the classic, you know, returning hero scene that we've seen so many times with Goku in Dragon Ball. We saw it in the Piccolo arc in Dragon Ball. We saw it in the Saiyan saga against Nappa, against Recoome, and against Frieza in the Frieza saga. You know, the Goku is here and he's ready to fight scene. Except this time he shows up with the Grand Priest. And again, epic music. And I'm over here thinking, man, Goku and the Grand Priest teaming up. That's a scary idea. And obviously Goku got some kind of training from the Grand Priest. Goku appears to be, from the get-go, in Ultra Instinct Omen. His eyes are silver. He doesn't have the silver hair, but he's got the silver eyes, so he is in Ultra Instinct Omen form. Perhaps the Grand Priest taught him how to tap into that form at will, because he's certainly in this form a lot longer than we thought. And that was pretty freaking cool. Jiren is shocked. He's like, Son Goku. Zamasu is shocked. Again, great music. So Goku dashes in and uses this epic, like, godly light move or something to knock Oren-Vegeta away. I mean, just the guy had no chance. The Grand Priest is like, well, I think Goku has this well in hand, and he bounces. He leaves. Which I guess having the Grand Priest fight Zamasu and those guys would be completely unfair. So Jiren rocks Zamasu with a big punch. And it was pretty cool. It's a big jab. And so he's not going down without a fight. And then Oren-Vegeta comes in to try and cheap shot Goku. He gets back fisted. Goku, again, really good scene here of him in Ultra Instinct Omen. Dodges some ki blasts being shot at him. Punches Oren-Vegeta one time. He punches Oren-Vegeta one time and knocks Oren out of Vegeta. So the possession is over. He ain't here to play. And the episode ends with the Goku stare. Now, I don't know if I liked it. And what I mean by the Goku stare is that close-up shot of Goku's face with the eyes, you know, the same one they used in Heroes. And what I mean by this is my favorite episode is I'm not sure if it's because I'm a sucker for these, like, awesome Goku, like, comeback appearances, because I always liked them in the old Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and even in Super when he first did Ultra Instinct. I don't know if it's that I'm a sucker for that, or just because there were other things that I liked about the episode. You know, yes, I do wish Jiren and CUMBER had gone on longer. Yes, I do wish Jiren and Zamasu had gone on longer, and it did feel rushed, but not as rushed as the previous episodes. We didn't see anything from Universe 6 in this episode, not even a single shot of Hit or Kaba, Caulifla Kale. They were nowhere to be seen. This was a focus on Universe 11 and that battle, so... But of course, I would expect to see even a mention, but there was really nothing there. So the cliffhanger is Goku is now an Ultra Instinct Omen, and yeah, that is the big cliffhanger. So again, my favorite episode of Heroes so far. The series is still just fan service pandering for a video game. You can't look at it as anything more than that, but I was entertained with this episode. But if you're looking for something that compares to Super or even I mean, it's not going to compare with Dragon Ball or Z. It's just not. I mean, it's just a different level. Like, Super was fun, but even Super, I think, is nowhere near as good as Dragon Ball or Z. But this isn't even as good as that at all. But I do think that it is it was the best episode so far. So let me know in the comments if you agree with this. Where do you think the story goes from here? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can't say I'm that interested because, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, but I don't care that much because Heroes, again, has been such a letdown that I'm not that invested in it, but I do want to see what they do. Thanks so much for watching the review, and I'll talk to y'all next time.